For those of you who are already on Zoom, okay, there's the judge. I just wanted to let you all know we're having a few technical difficulties, so just bear with us.
All right, thank you. I was just going to explain, due to some technical difficulties, I was delayed. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is November the 16th of 2022. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar. This calendar is for those individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney here today. All participants, this particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It is also being recorded. That means any member of the public can watch this. Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
Yes, Your Honor, it is going to be December the 6th.
All right, thank you. Those receiving a surety or cash bond today will be reset as Ms. Bridgewater just described to the December the 6th state all-purpose calendar. And those who receive a signature bond today will be reset for the notice. I know that there are some positions left off of the calendar that I have received. So if Ms. Bridgewater, will you let me know when the add-on calendar is available, if possible?
I sure will.
Thank you. Are there announcements at the jail regarding any medical resets or resets otherwise?
I normally do the announcements at the end, Judge.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your Honor, the state has an announcement, if I may. There are 5 cases we were not able to file down due to.
Yeah, I'm aware. So that's the add-on calendar we're waiting for.
Yes, but we're still not able to file them. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it by the conclusion of court, and we're concerned about Riverside issue. But we are prepared to, argue the bond for these cases, but they're just not filed down yet.
Okay, are you in the process of trying to file them down at this time, Ms.
Yes,
King?
Your Honor. We're able to get as far as to drafting the document, the accusations, but when it comes to filing, that's where the error message and the refusal comes.
This has happened to me before on a different calendar, and I don't remember what we did. Ms. Bridgewater, do you have any suggestions for a dynamic solution for how we might be able to get that? Is there somewhere they could email it and file it, someone else could file it? I don't know.
I'm really not sure whether it's a countywide thing or just what, but I will get an answer for you.
I know that, and excuse me, this is Anna Allen. I'm the supervisor here in the ASG's office, or in the SG's office, excuse me. When we've had this issue previously, I think the workaround was emailing a Word document version of the accusation to the clerk, and then they manually maybe file it down. But again, like Ms. Bridgewater said, I'm not sure if it is also going to affect her Odyssey. So Ms. Bridgewater, if you wouldn't mind checking with maybe Michael Jordan or whoever you have with you, and we will accommodate everyone. Thank you.
The best we can.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah, Judge, they can just send it to me and I'll take care of it.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Jordanson, if you'll send to him, he'll take care of it. We appreciate that. And then hopefully we'll get that add-on calendar with those additional 5 positions. The only reason I'm ready to go forward at courtroom 2. The only reason I asked about the announcements was sometimes we prepare cases, and if these people aren't coming, it helps us move faster. But who do I have first?
Well, Judge, okay, because we're waiting still on the calendar. It was brought to us really late. So
Yeah, I
I'm just waiting on
understand.
the calendar. Once I receive the calendar, I'll give you the announcements, Judge.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Who do I have before me now?
Good afternoon. It's going to be position 1, Ms. Blaylock.
All right, Ms. Blaylock, good afternoon. Your case is 22 CR 0078288H, and what's your charge with simple battery family violence with the offense date of November the 15th. Do you understand those rights I explained previously?
No, ma'am.
You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and we're broadcasting this over the internet. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have history, please?
Second arrest, 2018, simple battery dismissed.
All right, thank you. And whose case is this for the state?
It's my case, Your Honor. Ms. Sally.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sowry. If I could have the state's recommendation?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We, as ASG King has stated, we are having extreme technical difficulties, so I'm not able to access the file with the information regarding this case specifically, but the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond with conditions of no contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, which I don't have the address right now, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, 1-day anger awareness. Your Honor, to sum up this case, the victim, and let me see if I can get her name.
I have it as Kayla Lennon.
That's correct.
And I also have the address as 1749 Carter Circle.
Ms. Bridgewater, what was that last name again?
Lennon.
Lennon.
Lenon is the way I have it as spelled.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater, for that dynamic solution. I like the way we're coming together. Ms. Dowry, if you proceed, please.
Yes, Your Honor. The victim in this case, Ms. Lennon, she called officers and informed them that she had been slapped by the defendant. She stated they are in a relationship and they live together. And when officers spoke with the defendant, she did admit to slapping the victim. So the state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Before I go to you, Ms. Armstrong, let me sound for Ms. Lennon. Is Ms. Lennon on this Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement? I see some people on his iPhone. All right, hearing none. Ms. Armstrong, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Blaylock is a lifelong Atlanta native. She works full-time in a production. She actually makes windows and doors. She's been employed there for approximately 8 months. So when she gets out, she will have gainful employment. This was actually a situation involving mutual combat. My client was acting in self-defense when Ms. Lennon called 911 alleging that there had been an incident, and the defendant actually did have visible injuries to her hands, including broken nails from when Ms. Lennon attacked her. She will report to court when called. She has no prior criminal history other than an alleged arrest that was ultimately dismissed. So I'm asking Your Honor to consider a signature bond in this matter through pretrial services, and my client will do whatever classes Your Honor deems appropriate under pretrial services.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, I don't believe this was a dual arrest situation, so there was probable cause to arrest the defendant in this case. Nothing further.
All right, anything further, Ms. Armstrong?
I never said it was a dual arrest. Thank you.
All right, at this time, the defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial. She's to complete the 1-day anger awareness course, have no contact with Ms. Kayla Lennon. She's stay away from the incident location. She can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items that may be at that location. And she's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further from either party?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All
Nothing
right,
further. Thanks, Judge.
best of luck to you, Ms. Blaylock. Who do we have next?
All right, Judge Williams, I do have a calendar now, so I'm able to give you the announcements.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For position 4, it's going to be waive appearance.
Okay,
For position 5, it's going to be a medical reset. And also for the add-on calendar, there's a private attorney, but due to the name is spelled L-L-O-D-I. Hamilton is the last name.
Good afternoon, Judge. Michael Murphy here for, I believe it's Hamilton Alati.
hold 1 second. Has the add-on calendar gone out yet?
I haven't received it yet.
I haven't gotten it either. Okay, so we're gonna have to hold on that case, Mr. Murphy. We don't have the accusation filed yet.
No problem.
And Your Honor,
Uh-huh.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. The reason the accusation isn't filed is because we are null processing the case. for
okay.
Hamilton. And we are trying to get that null price sent, but it'll be sent by the end of court.
Okay, so Mr. Murphy, hearing that announcement, both you and your client are free to go. That'll be the end of this case.
Thank you, Judge. That concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Have a great afternoon. Take care.
You as well. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, who do we have next?
Position 12, Sora.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 007829A, and which you're charged with 2 counts of theft by shoplifting with the offense date of February the 2nd of 2022. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard.
First arrest.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. King, if you proceed, please.
Yes, Your Honor, this offense occurred on February 2nd of this year at the Shoe Gallery located at 6000 Medlock Bridge Parkway in Johns Creek. Officers responded to a shoplifting that already occurred. Upon arrival, they met with the manager of the store, Danielle Benton, that advised the defendant had previously been criminally trespassed from the store for shoplifting. She returned on that day, and the officers were able to view video surveillance of her returning to the store, and she stole a black and white dress, and she concealed the dress, and she also stole a gold bar and chain bracelet. The value of these 2 items was slightly over $100, Your Honor. At that point, she was taken into custody. The state, due to the defendant's limited criminal history, is willing to consent to a 2,000 signature bond through pretrial. That's 1,000 on each count, but we're asking for no further contact with the manager, Danielle Benton. Both are traditional spelling. Stay away from that Shoe Gallery store, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, thank you. And who represents this defendant?
I do, Your Honor. Ms. Soar, I would like to make sure that we have no objection to signature on bond. However, I think the jail is more appropriate. This is her first offense. From my understanding, she has no memory about what this happened. Indeed, her car has LOO as a plate. And if you see the warrant, it clearly says that it was LOOZOO. I have a feeling that they probably arrested a wrong person, and we would like to request for a signature on bond through the jail. She has been here for 9 years. She has a 1 child who is right here, and she also has a disability. That's how she has been living through. She's just lost her husband recently, and she also lost her twin son. She's been going through a lot of things, and she has a bachelor's degree from University of Phoenix. Her major was marketing, Your Honor. She has been a very good citizen of US, and we would like to request for a signature on bond through the jail, Your Honor. Thanks.
All right, at this time, the defendant will receive a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, 1,000 for each charge. She is having no contact with Danielle Benton and stay away from that Shoe Gallery store. She's also to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
Position 11, Smith.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. Your case is 22 CR 007826B, in which you're charged with 1 count of battery family violence with the offense date of November the 9th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, seeing that this is the first arrest, we'll go straight to Ms. King.
Yes, Your Honor. This offense occurred on November 9th of this year at 1513 Chattahoochee Circle in Roswell. Officers responded to a domestic dispute, and upon arrival met with the victim in this case, Miranda Smith, both traditional spelling. She stated that the defendant is the father of her 1-year-old son. She stated that they had been arguing all day, and shortly before the officers arrived on the scene, he pushed her against the wall and put her in a chokehold. And she described this by having his arm around her neck. She also said the defendant kicked and pushed items over during the altercation. The officers noted seeing redness on her neck consistent with her statements. The victim also stated that he put her hand on her neck in an attempt to choke her, and then ultimately put the arm around her neck. She states that the juvenile son was present at the same time and witnessed the altercation, and the officers did note that the child was crying when the officers arrived. They also noticed seeing a lot of things on the floor knocked over that's consistent with what the victim was saying in this case. The state is requesting a $4,000 surety in this case, no further contact with the victim or the 1-year-old minor son, a stay away from the incident location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. We understand the defendant does not have a criminal history, but we actually looked into having this transferred as a felony, but due to all the technical difficulties, we weren't able to pull together all the documentation needed to do so. So due to this likely being a felony as aggravated assault strangulation, the state feels that a $4,000 surety is more than reasonable.
All right, I'm sorry, Ms. King, can I have the name of the victim again?
It is Miranda Smith. We do not have the name of the 1-year-old child at this time.
I'm sounding for Miss Miranda Smith at this point. Ms. Smith, are you present on the Zoom conference? Is Ms. Smith present? All right, hearing none, we'll go straight to the defense. Is this Ms. Kim's case? Oh, it's Ms. McLeod.
It's mine,
Step,
Your
Ms.
Honor. Good
McLeod,
afternoon.
please
My
proceed.
client is 33 years old, Your Honor. He has some college education. He's been married to the alleged victim for more than 6 years. They share 2 children. My understanding is that they share 2 children together, Your Honor. My client has absolutely no criminal history. Based on that, I'd ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond. Based on my discussions with my client, he is not opposed to no violent contact with the alleged victim. But of course, since this is his son, he has a right to see his son. And if the court deems it necessary, he would be okay with third-party transfer.
All right, thank you, Ms. McLeod. At this time, the defendant will receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim at this time. He can arrange for third-party transfer of his child. He is to stay away from the incident location. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Is there anything further from either party?
Did you say anger awareness or no?
Yes, 1-day anger awareness. All right, I believe that will conclude Mr. Smith's case. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position
Thank you, Your Honor.
Burns.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Burns. Your case is 22 CR 007816E. You're charged with simple battery, family violence, theft by taking, and criminal trespass, each with the offense date of July of 2021. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Who him next so they can get him back?
Let's see. He went to felony on yesterday. Got a $22,000 bond in there. Last arrest was March. Failure to appear. Altering, counterfeiting motor vehicle certificate of title. False swearing, computer forgery. That's open. 21 CP 198070. FTA from 2015, 2021. Probation violation 2013, 2018. 2014 convictions for fleeing an officer. 2013 false imprisonment. 2014 operating a chop shop, theft by receiving. 2011 unlicensed operation of a vehicle, forgery in the first. What else? 2010 obstruction. I think he has a warrant for fraud.
Okay, I think that's sufficient. Thank you so much. Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor, and I want to note for the court, the cases that pretrial just listed are all convictions, Your Honor. This offense occurred on July 27th of last year. Officers responded to 3200 Lenox Road, apartment D213. Upon arrival, they met with the victim of this case, Franchester Gaines, Franchester, last name Gaines. She stated that she had just delivered the defendant's baby just a few days ago. She said that they were arguing because she was ending the relationship, which upset the defendant, and he punched her in the face inside the apartment, took a rock and broke the driver's side window of her vehicle. The victim also states that the defendant took her dog and later FaceTimed her with the dog in the screen. She was able to provide identifying information to the officers, which ultimately led to the defendant being detained. Due to the defendant having a lengthy criminal history, as well as two felony open cases here in Fulton County, the state is requesting a 4,000 surety. That's 2,000 on the simple battery and 1,000 on each of the other charges. We're asking for no further contact with Francesca Gaines, a stay away from the Lenox Road address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 34 years old. He is the father of 3 children, one of whom that he shares with the alleged victim. The court will note that this incident happened more than a year ago. My client tells me that he and the alleged victim are no longer in a relationship and they do not see each other. He doesn't live anywhere close to her and they're not in contact. I understand that my client does have some history, Your Honor, but it is not, he has no history of violence or certainly not any domestic related issues. Based on the timing of this incident, the length of time that has passed since the incident allegedly occurred, and the fact that my client does work and he has 2 children that he's supporting, I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond so he can get out of jail, get back to work and to his family.
All right, thank you. I am going to.
Your Honor, before you rule, I just want to perfect the record. There's a 2013 false imprisonment and battery conviction on his record.
All right. I'm sounding for Ms. Gaines at this time. I want to ensure that she is not on the Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement. All right, hearing none, defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond, $500 each charge. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case and stay away from the incident location. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further from either party?
Nothing further.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
What do we have next?
Judge Williams, quick question for you. Do we have a Wilhelm Jean Lewis on the calendar from Cobb County?
That person does not appear on this calendar. The add-on is not yet complete, so I don't know if that person's on the add-on calendar. Does anyone else know?
I just checked, it's not in yet, the add-on.
All right, we don't have that person yet. It's the possibility that they're on the add-on calendar.
And Judge, I did speak with Mr. Lewis. It looks like I received a NOD from the state on that matter. I don't know if that's helpful.
Perfect. That's
Is it
all I
both
want to know.
Is it only one charge? That one charge was NOD or we have more than one? Because I want to make sure.
Check.
I don't want
He
to
has
say that we don't
more
need
than
him.
one.
There was more than one charge.
Who could I forward it to use it appropriately? Sorry. Ms. Bridgewater, should I forward it to you?
Please do,
Okay.
yes.
And I have, just one filing number and it's an SG number. So.
All right, that works. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
So it is NOD?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is
Okay.
it NOD or no prost?
I'm reading NOD.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thank
you're
you.
good, sir. You're good to go. Okay. Yep, you're gonna go with Sarge. Our next is position 3, Mr. Gaddis.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Gaddis. Your case number is 22 CR 007827A. And what's your charge of battery family violence with the offense date of September the 19th? Do you understand your rights?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
14 total. Hold on. Last arrest was in August, simple battery, family violence. 2015, criminal damage to property, second degree, simple assault. They were dismissed. He got some DUIs and suspended license in his history. He got an open battery DV though, 22 CR 005 349A as an apple. I think you set the bond on that. I forgot how much it was. I think it was like a $3,500 good bond. That's it. I'm sure the state got the rest.
Thank you, Ms.
Anything
Lowry.
further anyway? Okay.
Please
Yeah.
proceed, Ms. Lowry.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place at 155 Foil, that's FOAL Drive in Roswell. Again, we have limited access to our information. However, based on the warrant, the victim in this case, whose name is Terry, same last name as the defendant, she informed officers that the defendant struck her in the face. He punched her with his fist and caused her lip to swell. As we've heard from pretrial, the defendant does have an open case. I do believe it's against this very same victim. With that being said, we are requesting a $4,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Gaddis, I see you on the screen. Do you wish to make a statement? If you do, I'll need to swear you in. We can't hear you. I think you may not be joined the audio. You do wish to make a statement? All right, go. Now I see you're on. Please hit unmute. All right, I'm not able to hear you.
I'm sorry.
There we are. Please
Okay.
raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
All right. What we are most concerned about today is whether or not you wish to have contact with the defendant. I'm unable to hear you, Ms. Gaddis.
Your Honor.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, Your Honor, it appears to me that some of that information that was given to you was inaccurate. This case, there were 2 charges on September 19th. And from what I understand, I spoke with the solicitor yesterday, Mr. Charles Carr, and he was the one who handled the modification of this case. And when I spoke with him yesterday, we were in touch and with contact about 4 times throughout the day. And he was working on it. He said it appeared that, to his knowledge, that the warrant was dropped on 1 case, but not the second case, if I'm correct.
Okay.
From my understanding.
Ms. Gaddis, what I want to know is whether you wish to have contact with the defendant and your position about whether you have concerns or fear for him. I don't
No,
really.
no, I do not. No.
Okay.
And this was,
All right.
to my, it was already modified. This was supposed to have been modified, I think, on October 31st, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Gaddis. I appreciate you making that statement.
Thank you.
Ms. Armstrong, please proceed.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Just to start with where Terry left off, I do have an email to that effect. I'm happy to forward that email to Your Honor and to the state. It is an email from Terry to Mr. Carr expressing her desire, and that email is her desire to have contact with the defendant. And that email was sent on October 31st of this year. David is a homeowner in Atlanta. He moved here in 1991. He's a practicing attorney in the area on the area of tax law. Even though he does demonstrate an ability to post bond in the amount of $4,000, we do believe that the Terry's involvement in this case and her wish to have contact with David, and also the state's mischaracterization of the alleged facts in this incident do warrant a bond no more than $1,000. Also, so Your Honor understands, this alleged incident actually happened at David's home. So it was the alleged victim who went to David's home. He presents no risk to her, and we are asking Your Honor to post a bond no more than $1,000. Thank you.
And Your Honor, based off the warrant that the state has, those are the facts that were given. Also, the 155 Foil Drive, based on the order that was signed for his previous open case that's with this very same victim, there was a stay away issued already. There was a no contact order issued already. And being that he has the case before you today, that order has been violated. So
I believe I did do that. I'm looking it up now. I did set the last one. It was a no contact. All right.
Judge, if I may,
Very quickly.
Terry went to David's house. Terry went to his house. It was his house. The other address that's mentioned in the warrant is their children's home. My client did not go to Terry's house. I want to make it very clear.
I don't think that's the issue here, Ms.
It's not.
Armstrong. I do understand that. All right. All right, at this time, I will accept the state's recommendation. Mr. Gaddis will receive a $4,000 surety bond. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case. Hearing that the address on Full Drive is his home, he can return there with law enforcement to make sure that the alleged victim is not at that location. If she's not there, he can return, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Is there any-
Your Honor, may I say something? 'Cause
I've heard from you, Ms. Gaddis. The best thing for you to do is to give Ms. Armstrong a call. All right?
Your Honor, you froze for a second. I didn't get the conditions.
I accepted your conditions in its entirety, Ms. Sari, with the exception of the anger awareness. There's not going to be an anger awareness course. He can return to Full Drive as long as the alleged victim is not residing at that location.
Your Honor,
Thank you.
I just must say for the court's benefit that I, following the order, Ms. Gaddis had vacated the residence, and subsequent to that, I took back possession of my residence, and that's the current status of it now. She does not live there, so that should not be an issue about returning the property. I intend to return back there, but I don't think that's an issue.
All right, sounds well. Thank you so much, sir, for that clarification. Is there anything further from the state or the defense at this time?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Gaddis. Who do we have next?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Also, Judge, position 7 bonded out.
All right, thank you.
And also on the add-on calendar, Mr. Benson also bonded out.
All right, thank you.
Position 6, Mr. Luke.
All right. Mr. Luke, your case is 22 CR 007832F, in which you're charged with theft by shoplifting with the offense date of March the 10th. You understand it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, can I have the history, please?
Luke, 17 total. Last arrest was back in June, failed to appear. On probation in Fayette County as of June for shoplifting. Hold on. Got a March shoplifting conviction. Failed to appear again from 2014. It's a DUI alcohol, endangering a child while DUI. 2012 theft by taking dead docket. 08 probation for simple battery. Hold on. We got one arrest out of South Carolina. That was from the 90s. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sari?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, again, don't have all the information regarding the incident location. However, I have the name of the business. It was Food Depot. Basically, the defendant came into the store and took crab legs from the freezer and exited the location without paying for the items. As we've heard from pretrial, the defendant does have multiple theft by shoplifting arrests in his history. He has a March 2022 theft by shoplifting guilty conviction, an arrest from 4/2022 for theft by shoplifting. I'm not sure of the disposition for that. However, I do believe it's open because he has a 2022 FTA for theft by shoplifting. So he does present a risk of reoffending. He presents a risk of flight. The state's recommendation in this case is a $3,000 surety bond with conditions of staying away from the incident location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Miss. Mr. Luke is 43 years, and the only reason that he had a failure to appear was because he was incarcerated from April until yesterday at Fayette County. He was indeed transferred from Fayette County to Fulton County to address this issue. So we would like the judge, Your Honor, to have a consideration about the fact that the reason for the failure to appear was purely because he was incarcerated. He already has served in the jail for 7 months for the theft by shoplifting. It's more than time served that he should be serving for misdemeanors, and yet that's what happened. He has 3 children. They're all minors, 5 to 13. His wife is homeschooling, and he has not been able to have any job for the last 6 months, Your Honor. So any bond will be almost like a no bond because all the resources are going to their 3 minor children right now. He graduated from high school, and he also has a trade school, HVAC, and his wife is working on the renovation and trying to do maintenance for the apartment to make a living right now, struggling all by herself. We would like to request for signature on bond for this case. Thank you.
All right, at this time, the defendant will receive a $6,000 signature bond through the jail. He is to stay away from that Food Depot location, and he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further from my
Your Honor, for the record, that address is 80 West Broad Street.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Briswell.
you.
You must stay away from 80 West Broad Street. All right, is there anything further?
Nothing
Nothing
further, Your
further,
Honor.
Judge.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 8, Morton.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Morton. Your case is 22 CR 007834F, in which you're charged with simple battery with the offense date of March the 14th of this year. Do you understand your rights here today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
11 total. Last arrest was 2021, probation out of Douglas County. On probation in Fulton, burglary 1st degree, arson 1st degree, arson in the 3rd. That's 17 SC 151136. On probation in Douglas County, identity theft fraud. Let's see, 2021 probation, 2019 probation, 2017 failure to appear. He had a 2011 battery that was dismissed. 2009 criminal damage to property in the 2nd. Simple battery DV, arrest. He had some other charges that were not prosecuted in 2008, ag assault, false imprisonment, kidnapping. That's it. I think he has a hold too.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place at 2500 Center Street Northwest Boulevard in Atlanta. Regarding this case, Your Honor, the victim, who is a minor, she's 11 years old, so her initials are PC. Essentially, Your Honor, she went over to the defendant's home to fight with the defendant's stepdaughter. And this was a fight between 2 young girls when the defendant, who is a grown adult male, he grabbed this 11-year-old by the neck and began to choke her and push her over across a balcony, Your Honor. As we've heard from pretrial regarding the defendant's history, I did want to also note there's a 2017 arson and burglary conviction. He used his first offender on that. He's violated probation in 2019 and 2021. He has a 2017 FTA, battery and battery family violence arrest. As such, Your Honor, given the nature of this incident and it taking place on against a minor, the state's recommendation in this case is a $10,000 surety bond. I do believe it's his home, so we're not going to ask for a stay away, but no contact with the victim or her parents. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and a 1-day anger awareness course. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Morton is 34 years old, and he is native of Atlanta, Georgia. This incident happened on March 14, 2022, and he goes to probation officer every month. This never came up, and then all of a sudden he is arrested for this. He was not a first aggressor, Your Honor, and he denies the allegation that was more than exaggeration. He does have 10 minor children himself, from like 1-year-old to 14 years old, 5, 7, 9, 8, and he does not do this to minor children. Your Honor, he's been working as a chef at a pizza place for last 3 years, and he has been in that industry, pizza industry, as a chef for about 17 years. And Your Honor, he has 11th grade of high school education, and it was he wanted to defend his stepdaughter, who was 11 years old as well. And the I guess that minor resides at building A, which is kind of far from the where my client resides. She came all the way to his place to attack his stepdaughter. So only reason that he was there was to protect his stepdaughter. We would like to request for signature on bond for this case, because he cannot go any other places except, all those places. There's a foreign county hold, so he has to go there. Otherwise, maximum $1,000 good bond for his charge. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention that there were witnesses to this incident that flagged down police. So there were other people outside that did witness this incident. And again, it was between two minor kids, and a grown adult male has no business choking an 11-year-old that is not his child. Nothing further.
There is actually another sister who will say a totally different story as a witness as well, Your Honor.
Understood. At this time, defendant is going to receive a $1,500 surety bond. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim or her parents, and he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I'm not going to order the stay away since it was his home. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Best
Nothing
of luck
further.
to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 10, Saraz.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 007824C, and what you're charged with maintaining a disorderly home with the offense date of October the 17th. Do you understand you're right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Ninth arrest. Last was back in February for DUI. That's the opening state court. That unfaded to maintain lane. He don't have any charges related to maintaining a disorderly house.
Okay.
2014, he was arrested by ICE.
Okay.
What else? Hold on. I see his DUIs. Yeah, the FTA that was NOD from 2014. Battery, DV, cruising, the third arrest. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor, this offense occurred on October 17th of this year. Officers responded to 1412 Hemingway Lane in Roswell due to noise complaints from neighbors in the area. The officers asked him to turn on his music and actually reviewed the call histories for that location and saw there was 10 calls since April of this year. When he asked them to turn on his music, the defendant started being belligerent with the officers, and due to the excessive complaints, that's why the officers went ahead and detained the defendant in this case. Due to the multiple open cases, while they are stemming from this case or similar to the charges before Your Honor, one of the conditions of bond is to not get arrested again and to follow Georgia law, which he has not done. And I would also like to note for the court, he has 2 open DUIs, one from 2021 and one from this year, in addition to a DUI conviction from 2017. The state is requesting a $2,000 surety in this case, as well as no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Saradas is 43 years old. Your Honor, he was decorating his house with the Christmas trees and Christmas. He just had Christmas music a little louder than I guess he should be. I mean, but there is no law that says one shall not play the music too loud. I mean, I was kind of surprised to have this to be a cause of arrest, to lose liberty over. Anyway, that he has been here in Georgia for 27 years, and he has 3 minor children that he has to support, and his wife. He has he's been working at Rice Keeper as a transporter, since he's not able to go to work, his team of 10 people will not be able to work, which is really, really sad and a lot of loss. He graduated from high school. He is working hard. Other than DUI, he does not have any other crimes, Your Honor. Because of Christmas season, having a music, and when officer actually told him to stop, he complied, and he turned down the volume, Your Honor. And I really think that this is kind of outrageous charge to take away somebody's livelihood, which he couldn't do it today, and he may get fired for that. It just doesn't make any sense for this charge. Anyway, please, Your Honor, I would like to ask for a signature on bond. Thank you.
All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
This is Mr. Woods. He's an add-on.
Has that been received and filed?
I have not received the calendar. I just checked.
Okay, the only other positions we could do in the meantime, I think, is position 4 or 9.
I manually drafted Mr. Wood's accusation and sent them to Mr. Jordan. So I guess they're in a process of
They're in the
instructing.
process. Yes, it doesn't exist here.
You got any more small bags?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have position number 9 here at South Annex.
All right, it has South Annex heard their rights?
No, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. This is the state expedited accusations calendar. At this time, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney. This proceeding is being broadcast over the internet. It is also being recorded. Are you Patrice Rich?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Rich, your case is 22 CR 007825E, in which you're charged with loitering and prowling and theft by receiving. Do you understand those rights as I just explained them?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, this is her first, and seeing that this is her first arrest, we'll go to Ms. King.
Yes, Your Honor. This offense occurred on November 14th of this year. Officers were dispatched to a burglary from residents call at 3200 Lenox Road, apartment 418. Upon arrival, they met with a security guard that stated there was 4 Black females and 2 Black males inside of 2 vacant apartments in that complex. The security guard noted that both of the doors were kicked in and they were inside the units without permission. So the officers went to the units, and when they got inside, they did find the 4 females and 2 males, and they also found stolen items. They found a TV, a PlayStation 4, an Apple MacBook laptop, a couch set, and 2 jackets. Upon their investigation, they found a Mr. Gordon Isaiah, first name traditional spelling, last name Isaiah. He lives at the apartment 418, and he says he left his unit around 6 a.m. And when he came back home around 9 p.m., he noticed his front door was open and his belongings were missing. And also he noticed things were thrown around. It was come to discover that that was his items that were inside the vacant units with the minors. Your Honor, this defendant is 17 years old. So due to the limited criminal history and her age, the state is willing to consent to a 2,000 signature bond through pretrial in this case. No further contact with the victim, Gordon Isaiah, or any of the co-defendants, Janiyah Turner, Jemiah Allen, Lauren Holsey, and we do not have the names for the 2 gentlemen. And we're also asking for a stay away from the 3200 Lenox Road, apartment 418 address. And we're also asking, Your Honor, for a curfew. I will defer to the court regarding the hours and limitations of that curfew.
All right, I'm inclined to accept the state's recommendation at this time. Ms. McLeod, is this your case?
No, Your Honor, I represent one of the co-defendants, Ms. Turner.
Co-defendant, so it's Ms. Kim.
Yes,
Ms. Kim, I'm
ma'am.
inclined to accept the state's recommendation and grant a curfew whereby, is the defendant in high school?
Yes, she goes to Warren. I guess she had to transfer, but it is Warren something high school, Your Honor.
All right, and is she also like working in
Hi, how are you?
a job, or is it just working?
She's looking for
just school.
part-time employment. However, she does not have any job.
Yes,
All right, so in light of the fact that she is doesn't have a part-time
I'll
job,
be there at 9.
please mute whoever that is. All right, so we're gonna accept
Thank you.
state's
Bye.
recommend. Can we mute that person who's speaking? Thank you. All right, I'm gonna accept the state's recommendation in its entirety. Ms. Rich will receive a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. She's not to have any contact with any of the victims or co-defendants in this case. She will have a curfew of 7 p.m. as a condition of this bond. She can go to school or school-related activities that may be after that time, but otherwise she's to be at home. She is to also be enrolled actively in her high school program. We're gonna need the name of a co-signer, I believe, Ms. Kim, since
Yes.
she's under 17.
Yes.
Do we know who that co-signer is?
Yes, her father is willing to co-sign. His name is Patrick Rich. Common spelling Patrick. Same as a Rich. Yes.
All right. All right, I
Um,
believe that
hold on,
concludes.
hold on, hold on, hold
Mr.
on.
Howard, are you gonna need something else?
Tell her dad to take a utility bill and a
Mhm.
valid ID. And the
Yes,
utility bill is supposed to match the ID, just so you know. Judge, you
yes.
said curfew is at 7 p.m.
It is.
What's
At
the
what time?
end time?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. In my mind, I'm saying be home by 7 p.m. when those street lights come on. All right.
They come on
She-
at 6 now because it get dark early.
It
So.
does get dark quite early, but I figured that would give her enough time to engage in any school-related activities. It will begin in the morning from 6 a.m. It should give her enough time to get to school, and she must be home by 7 p.m.
So
All right?
7 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yes. Does that
All right.
work?
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. I
Thank
believe
you.
that concludes that case. The only other case I believe we can do now is position 4, as the add-ons have not yet been created.
Your Honor,
Yes.
he had 2 charges, a loitering and a theft by receiving. Will you give me the breakdown on those?
I'm sorry. I think it was 1,000 each charge.
That was the state's request.
Yes. It was
Okay.
1,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Are there any other positions we can take?
I believe there are 2 cases that we have a waiver of appearance.
All right. Let's do the waiver case, position 4. Can we
Sure.
do that one? Case 22 CR 007830B, the case of Marcus Golden, in which Mr. Golden is charged with criminal trespass. Mr. Howard, can I have that person's history?
It's 5th arrest. Last arrest was in May for criminal trespass. Before that was 2020 trespass dismissed, 2005 trespass dismissed, and 05 marijuana, abandonment of child, I'm sorry. Trespass conviction. That's
All
it.
right, thank you. Ms. Soury?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place at 99 Gilmer Street, Southeast in Atlanta. That's the premises of Georgia State University parking deck S. The defendant was asked to leave several times by security and he refused. Your Honor, as we've heard from pretrial, the defendant did have a 2020 criminal trespass null price from Clayton County. The state's recommendation in this case is a $1,500 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Golden is actually 45 years old and he resides in the Metro Atlanta area. and his father, Alexander Squires Jr., resides with him. And he was born in Augusta, and he attended Richmond High School there. He has been here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, for more than 10 years, and he has been living at a care home, which is 4610 Kent Road, South Fulton, Georgia 30337. We would like to request for signature on bond, since this is a very rare incident that he had criminal trespass. We would like to request for signature on bond. Thanks.
All right, anything further from either party?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
All right, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. He's to stay away from that incident location and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything, can we take any of the add-ons yet?
I just checked, I don't have anything.
I have
All
Mr. Jaron Woods, he's the add-on, and also Mr. Marquise Walker, he's the another add-on.
And I have here South Annex Miss Turner, she's an add-on as well.
Yes, Your Honor, and all those accusations have been manually drafted and sent to Mr. Jordan.
Okay, well, if you all give me just a second to run and check with him to see if he has any paperwork.
Okay.
Right,
But
I will be in a
Thank you
brief
so much, Ms.
recess.
Bridgewater.
Thank you.
I don't know, I didn't pick up that. Is everyone there? I just been informed we're having a hard time getting that paperwork, so it may take a minute if we can go ahead and do the waivers. I take it the judge isn't on here.
She probably stepped away.
Okay, so it's still gonna take us a minute on that paperwork. We're trying, but it hasn't come to fruition yet.
You wanna go over the calendar?
Where's the judge? I would prefer that we wait. We still have a couple of waivers. Once she gets on, we could probably do those.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we've done the waivers. There's no other cases we can take until the add-ons are ready. So we will be in recess until then because
Yeah, he's trying his best to get it done, but at this point, I have nothing else to offer.
let's give it a few moments and we'll check back in.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
Okay.
Judge, I'll be back.
Hey, Tucson.
He just said he was.
All right, we actually have a case number for Mr. Jerryon Woods, so we're gonna go ahead and take his case. If possible, Mr. Woods, your case is 22 CR 007839E. In that case, you're charged with criminal trespass and simple battery with the offense date of July the 8th of 2022. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is Mr. Howard back? If not, we will defer to Ms. King for the history.
Yes, Your Honor, I only have one arrest out of Virginia. There was an assault from 2019, but it was no pros. I do not see a history out of Georgia.
All right, thank you, Ms. King. Please proceed.
This offense occurred July 8th of this year. Officers were dispatched to 5773 Village Loop in South Fulton. Upon arrival, they met with the victim of this case, Tisha Walker, Tisha, last name traditional spelling. She says she was laying on the bed in her room when her son, who was the defendant, entered the room and began throwing rice and beans on her while yelling, "I'm going to heal you." At that point, she grabbed her gun and contacted the police. At that point, the defendant fled the scene in a vehicle. She was able to give the vehicle information to the officers, which ultimately led to his apprehension. She stated that he was living at that location until a month ago and he moved out. So she doesn't know how he made entry into the residence, but she will be changing the locks. Due to the positive identification, they were able to apprehend him. And there's also video surveillance of the altercation showing him coming into the residence as well. The state is requesting a 1,000 surety in this case due to his limited criminal history and also knowing his mother's wishes regarding him not being in custody long, but the state is asking for MHET in this case due to some information she did provide regarding her concerns. We are asking for no further contact with her and a stay away from the incident location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, I am going to, actually, I'm gonna ask that I be placing a breakout with Ms. King, Ms. Kim, and Ms. Walker, so that I could hear from her and Ms. Bridgewater, of course.
Yeah,
As
who we on?
deputy,
Oh,
Helena.
yes, and any other supervisors at the office who would need to be a part of this. We're on Woods.
Now you got no bond and felony earlier, from where I was
Okay.
told, just so you know.
All right.
Okay, Judge, you say King, Walker, yourself, Bridgewater.
Ms. Walker, I believe is on the screen as Hope for Change.
Okay.
So if you'll put her in the, is that correct? Are you Ms. Tisha Walker? Is she frozen?
Maybe, yeah.
Looks like it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Maybe
sound.
Miss Grace.
Is
If
Tisha
we end up
Walker-
going.
I got you, Ms. Allen.
Is Tisha Walker still present?
And our advocate did confirm that is her.
Yeah, I think it says so on the chat. She said Tisha Walker was here. So I'm gonna ask that if she's still on the Zoom, is Ms. Walker still on the Zoom conference or did she
Seems
drop
like
out?
she logged out and gonna try to come back in, Judge.
Try to come back, okay.
But that's King, Ms. Walker.
All right, well, when
Bridgewater,
she
Helen,
comes,
and you.
before, we'll wait for her to come back because I wanted
Okay.
her to speak in the breakout.
Exactly.
Ms.
That's
Kim
fine.
can go ahead and proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Woods is actually 28 years old, Your Honor. He has one child, indeed two children, 4 and 8 years old, and he's married. They have a happy family members. Your Honor, at that time, he was actually residing with her. That's what he says. And he has been working at warehouse. It became kind of like it was temporary agency. Now it's gonna be a full-time job if he gets out of the jail. He has served at National Guard for 6 years at Army. He was discharged honorably from 2014 to 2020. That's how long he was in the Army. He also went to Afghanistan, the war, And last year during the pandemic, he went and visited 100 nursing homes to encourage other citizens. He has very good community services that he's been contributing to the society. And Your Honor, I would like to request for signature on bond for his.
All right, I believe his mother is here. So if we could be placing that breakout, Ms. Grace. Thank you.
And Deputy Allen as well, please.
Ms. King, if you could give me the sub-tier of the. So, yes, Your Honor, while the victims, Ms. Walker stated that she suspects mental health. And reviewing blood.
All right, at this time, the defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond, 500 for each count. He is to undergo evaluations as discussed in breakout. He is to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. He will be reset to the competency calendar on December the 8th of 2022. Is there anything further from the state or the defense?
Nothing from the state.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. We are now going to attempt to do the cases on the add-on. We do not have an accusation number. However, I do believe we have the warrant numbers. If the state would be so kind as to give me those warrant numbers as we proceed. I believe we'll do the case of Janiyah Turner.
She's here at the South Annex, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Turner, in this case, you're charged with theft by receiving and loitering with the offense date of November the 14th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I believe this defendant is a co-defendant from a case we discussed previously. Is that correct?
That is correct, and we get the same recommendation.
All right, so I believe I don't remember the amount of the signature bond that we did.
$2,000.
So this defendant will also receive the $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Is this defendant also under 18?
Yes, Your Honor.
She is.
All right, is Ms. McLeod, is your client also engaged in any type of part-time work and enrolled in high school?
She is working, Your Honor. She had been to Job Corps. She tells me she's working on her GED and she is employed.
All right. She is going to receive the same curfew requirements of 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. unless she's engaged in work or school activities.
And I have the warrant numbers whenever Your Honor is ready.
All right, please read that warrant number to the record, Ms. King.
For the loitering, it is EW-038-4215. And for the theft by receiving stolen property is EW-038-4216.
All right, I believe that will conclude Ms. Turner's case unless there's anything further from the state of defense.
So who's co-signing?
All right, Ms. Turner is also going to need a co-signer. Who's our co-signer, Ms. McLeod?
She lives with her mom, Your Honor. I have her mom's name, but I don't have a phone number for her. So
Okay, what is her mom's name? Ms. Turner, I'm going to ask you this very limited question. What is your mother's name?
Yashika Turner.
Can you spell that?
YIASHIKA Turner.
All right, is your mother the person most likely to come to bond you out?
Yes.
All right, so we'll list Ms. Turner. Go ahead, Ms.
I was going
McLeod.
to ask about her phone number, Your Honor. If she could remember it.
All right, do you have a phone number for your mother? Can someone at South Annex help her put it in the chat to Ms. McLeod?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Ms. McLeod can contact her mother?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right,
South Annex, may we be excused?
once we've done that, yes, once Ms. McLeod
Okay.
has that information. Mr. Howard, do you need anything further?
No. Mother needs to bring a utility bill, matching the address and a valid ID.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now the next,
I got one more question. Did she have a curfew too?
yeah, same curfew.
Same time? Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's try to do Marquise Walker. We have the same challenge. Mr. Walker, we do not have the case number, but we do have the warrant numbers, which I'm going to ask the state to read into the record. Mr. Walker, in this case, you're charged with obstruction and possession of marijuana less than an ounce with the offense date of November the 15th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
11 total. Last arrest was in July for battery. That's open. 22 CR 004-675Y. I think that's Judge Edie. Open simple battery. 20 CR 004-359Y. He went to felony court. Was it yesterday or today? He got no bond. Whichever day he went. Yeah, I mean, he got some
Okay,
drug
that's-
charges and theft. That's it.
That's sufficient. Ms. King, please read us the warrant numbers, and if you proceed, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Odyssey is still giving me problems. It's going really slow. So hopefully by the end of my presentation, I'll be able to provide it.
Crazy.
Yeah, this offense occurred on November 15th of this year. Officers were dispatched to 9955 Old Dogwood Road in response to a possibly wanted person who had just left a nearby gas station. A detailed description was given to officers and they observed him walking away. They made contact with him and identified themselves and the reason for the stop. He provided his name and birthday, and when they ran it through GCIC, it was found that he had active warrants for battery and theft. At that point, he was informed he was under arrest and he took flight. There was a foot pursuit and ultimately he was catched. There was search incident to arrest. They found the marijuana in the pocket of his jacket. Due to this defendant having 3 open cases, the felony case that he went to first appearance for this morning was actually robbery by force. In addition to 2 other misdemeanor violent offenses, the state feels that a 2,000 surety is more than reasonable. He was given a 1,000 signature in the first simple battery family violence case, which was a privilege. And he got another simple battery where he was given a 2,000 surety. He bonded out on that and committed the felony before, Your Honor. But that was in first appearance in the case before, Your Honor. So for the reason, the 2,000 surety is more than reasonable.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Walker is 25 years old and he's been here in Georgia for about 4 years. He is single, he has no children, he resides with his mother. Your Honor, of course, he has not been able to have a job for the last 2 weeks, but prior to 2 weeks, he used to work at Walmart. He graduated from high school and currently he is residentially challenged. So we are actually recommending social worker services to have a visit to check his, give him housing resources and at the same time to do the BHET evaluation for him. Your Honor, he claims that that person, the complaining witness, was completely drugged and lied the story, and we would like to request for a signature on bond for this case. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond because of the current open cases, we would like to request for maximum $1,000 total good bond. Thanks. Anyway, he cannot go anywhere, Your Honor. He has a no bond.
All right, at this time, defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond for count 1 and a $500 surety bond for count 2 for a total of $1,500. I'm sorry, I don't believe there were special conditions requested by the state, were there, Ms. King, other than no alcohol, drugs, weapons?
That's correct, because he was just, walking on the street.
Right, I'm assuming so. All right, at this time, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons will be the only special conditions attached to Mr. Walker's case.
Was anybody able to get in to get the warrant numbers?
No, we don't have the warrant numbers at this time. So what we can do is, Mr. Jordan will just add those to the paperwork and we'll just have to stipulate that those were the correct cases. Mr. Walker, I believe, I know that you want to ask me a question. I don't want you to say something that will infringe upon your right to remain silent. The best thing for you to do is speak to Ms. Kim, but if you have a limited question about your bond, you can ask it at this time.
I was just saying those 3 open cases already got solved. I already handled it.
Okay, I don't want you to say anything else, but I appreciate that. Give Ms. Kim a call, please. All right. All right, I believe that concludes the calendar. Is that correct?
Number 5 was reset medical, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, courtroom 2, you can be excused. Thank you for your patience and have a great rest of your afternoon. Take care.
Your Honor, actually, about the number 5, I apologize for interrupting, but I believe that we filed for MHET order for that case. And we would like to ask the judge, ask Your Honor to have the bond remain as set. I think it is only $1,000. So that way he can get evaluation done and he can be reset for competency calendar.
He would still, Ms. Kim, have to come and have a first appearance though.
We have a waiver of appearance filed, Your Honor, for Mr.
All right, so we would need to actually hear that case then today.
Yes.
All right, so let's do that. I thought 5 was a medical reset. Courtroom 2 can still be excused. Take care.
Okay,
All right,
good.
so let's do position 5. The
Let me
case
go
of-
grab it, Judge. I had already put it up since they said
Okay.
reset. I'll be right back.
I thought it was reset as well. Take your time.
I
In the
apologize.
meantime, we will read this case. This is a case of Alvin Hughes, 22 CR 007831J, in which defendant is charged with criminal trespass with the offense date of November the 15th. We'll hold temporarily for Mr. Howard to give
All right, I'm
us.
back.
All right, he's back. Can I please have the history?
37 total. Last arrest was June. Failure to appear out of Polk County. Underlying charge was disorderly conduct. The FTA said no further action anticipated. February arrest out of Marietta. Trespass dismissed. November 2021, trespass dismissed. 2020 obstruction. Trespass dismissed. 2020 disorderly conduct and terroristic threats, that was dismissed. Got a failure to appear, 2020 out of Rome. 2017 possession of cocaine, drug-related objects, and trespass dismissed. 2016 trespass dismissed. Giving false name, NOLO. 2015. 2012 trespass dismissed. Another 2012 trespass and disorderly conduct arrest. He got history out of New Mexico, California, and Tennessee as well. He got a hold out of warrant. A warrant out of Rome, sorry, and out of Dalton, Georgia. You want
Okay.
more? That's it.
No, that's good. Thank you. Ms. Dowry?
Yes, Your Honor, if we may hear from Ms. Bridgewater regarding the incident location, being that I don't have access to.
Sure. I have it as the Spring Hill Suites Marriott Hotel at 239 Ivan Allen Boulevard.
Yes, thank you. The defendant in this case was trespassed from the incident location multiple times, and he continued to return. Your Honor, as we've heard from pretrial, there are a number of criminal trespass arrests for the defendant, and also those FTAs. I have 2 as recent as 2022 and 2020. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety, and to stay away from the incident location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
No objection, Your Honor. We would like to have that bond set and also MHET. We already submitted the order, Your Honor, to Ms. Bridgewater. Yes.
All right, we'll accept that recommendation. It'll be a 2,000 surety with the evaluation. He's to stay away from the Spring Hill Suites on Ivan Allen Boulevard and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing further.
All right. All right, I believe that finally does conclude the calendar. Ms. Bridgewater, will you please review it for us?
Yes. Okay, here we go. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is December the 6th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 total good bond. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 good bond. Position 4, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5, SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 6, reset further notice with a $6,000 SOB through the jail. Position 7 is reset further notice as the defendant was released. Position 8 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. Position 9, reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 10, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 11, reset further notice with a $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 12, reset further notice with the $2,000 total SOB through the jail. Okay, now for the add-on for Walker, I show that it's a $1,500 good bond, total good bond, reset to the SAP calendar. For the defendant Turner, it's going to be reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through pretrial. And for the defendant Woods, it's gonna be a $1,000 total good bond, and it's going to the SAP calendar. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections?
Yes,
Who
Your
was
Honor.
charged with?
Well, Woods,
Yeah, what was the charges?
I'm showing simple battery and wait a minute, let me get the other charge. I'm showing two charges. It was $500 criminal trespass.
And the total was what now?
I'm showing that it was $1,000 total good bond, 500 on each charge.
I need to let the judge know, I have Miss Turner on the line. That is my client, Janae's mom. She says that she does not have a utility bill that matches her address.
I'll waive the utility bill if Mr. Howard will send me a waiver.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, number 5, the position number 5, Mr. Hughes, I thought it was gonna be reset to competency calendar.
Okay, you're okay. We can do that. It'll be December the 8th.
Yes, you. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
all right.
All right. Are there any other comments, changes, corrections, or questions? All right,
I'm about to
hearing
send it to you
none.
now.
Thank you. All right, hearing none, we'll be in recess until tomorrow's SCA calendar. Thank you all for your patience today. I know it was quite difficult. I appreciate everyone's hard work, and Miss Bridgewater gets the Snicker bar of the day for going above and beyond. I'll bring it to you tomorrow here in court.
Yeah,
All
do I
right.
look like I need a Snickers bar?
Yes, ma'am, you
Everybody.
do. All right, you all take care and have a good day.
Okay,
Thank you, Your
bye-bye.
Honor. Same to you.
Thank you.